Have you started to notice that your legs do not feel as dependable as they used to? Maybe getting up from a chair takes a little more effort than it once did. Maybe climbing stairs feels heavier, slower, and strangely exhausting. Perhaps you walk across the room and feel that your legs are not exactly painful, but they feel weak, tired, or unsteady in a way that is hard to explain. Many older adults hear the same phrase again and again. It's just aging. They are told weak legs are normal after 60. They are told to accept it, slow down, and expect less from their body. But what if that is not the full story? What if weak legs are not simply a calendar problem? What if your legs are not failing because of age alone, but because something deeper is quietly interfering with the muscles, nerves, and blood flow that keep them strong? Hello, I'm Dr. Adrian Keller, and in today's video we're talking about the real cause of weak legs after 60. This is one of the most important topics in all of healthy aging, because when your legs begin to weaken, it affects almost everything. It affects how safely you walk. It affects how confidently you get out of bed. It affects your balance, your independence, your ability to go shopping, to cook, to visit family, to move around your own home without fear. Weak legs are not just about strength. They are about freedom. And what I want you to know right from the beginning is this: weak legs after 60 are very common, but they are not always normal in the sense people mean it. Yes, the body changes with age. That is true. But when the legs become noticeably weaker, heavier, shakier, or less reliable, there is usually a reason. In fact, there are often several reasons working together at the same time. To understand why legs become weak, let us first talk about what legs actually need in order to stay strong. Most people think of leg strength as just muscle. They imagine the thighs, calves, and hips as the entire story. But the truth is that strong legs depend on a team. Muscles are part of that team, yes. But so are nerves, so is circulation, so is hydration, so is blood sugar balance, so is nutrition, so is daily movement. When any one of those systems starts to weaken, your legs begin to pay the price. Think of your legs like a busy delivery system in a large city. The muscles are the workers. The nerves are the communication lines. The blood vessels are the roads. Oxygen and nutrients are the supplies being delivered. If the roads are blocked, the workers do not get what they need. If the communication lines are damaged, the workers do not know what to do. If the supplies stop arriving, the whole system slows down. That is exactly what can happen in the body after 60. Now let us talk about the real causes, because the biggest mistake people make is assuming weak legs must come from only one thing. In reality, weak legs after 60 often come from a combination of reduced circulation, nerve dysfunction, age-related muscle loss, vitamin deficiencies, inactivity, dehydration, and unstable blood sugar. Let us begin with circulation, because this is one of the most overlooked causes of weak legs in older adults. Your leg muscles need a constant supply of oxygen-rich blood to function. Every step you take depends on it. Every time you stand up, climb stairs, or walk across a room, the muscles of the legs must contract. Hold your body weight, and respond quickly. They cannot do that well if blood flow is poor. When circulation slows down, the muscles do not receive enough oxygen and nutrients. This often creates a very specific kind of weakness. It is not always sharp pain. It is not always dramatic. Often it feels like heaviness, fatigue, slowness, a strange sense that the legs are not cooperating. Some people describe it as feeling like they are walking through wet sand. Others say their legs tire out much too quickly, even with simple movement. Why does circulation become more important after 60? Because blood vessels change with age. They may become stiffer. There may be more inflammation. There may be plaque buildup. Physical activity often decreases. Muscle pumping becomes less efficient. Hydration may be poorer. And all of that makes the lower legs, especially the feet and calves, more vulnerable. This is especially true because the legs are far from the heart. Blood has to travel all the way down and then all the way back up again. That is a demanding job. The body relies heavily on movement to help with this. Walking, ankle motion, calf contraction, all of these help push blood where it needs to go. That is why sitting too long can make weak legs worse. The pump is turned off. Now let us move to the second major cause, nerve dysfunction. Your nerves are not just for feeling temperature or touch. They are absolutely essential for movement. Nerves carry messages from the brain to the muscles. They tell your legs when to move, how much force to use, how to stay balanced, and where your feet are in space. If those nerve signals become weaker or less reliable, the legs can feel heavy, numb, clumsy, or unstable. This is one reason some seniors say, "My legs are weak," when the deeper problem may actually be nerve-related. The muscles may still be there, but the communication system is not working properly. Think of the nerves like electrical wiring in a house. If the wiring is healthy, the lights turn on instantly. If the wiring is frayed or damaged, the signal becomes inconsistent. Lights flicker. Power is lost. The same thing can happen in the body. Poor nerve function can create weakness, poor balance, numbness, tingling, burning, or a strange, disconnected feeling in the legs. This often becomes more noticeable at night or when walking on uneven ground. Some people do not feel stable in the dark. Others notice they need to touch furniture or walls to feel more secure. That is often not just old age. It may be a sign that the nerves in the feet and legs are not sending clean signals to the brain. The third major cause is age-related muscle loss, often called sarcopenia. Now, this one is real. Aging does reduce muscle mass, but the important point is that muscle loss is not automatic at the same speed for everyone. It is strongly influenced by activity, protein intake, inflammation, illness, hormonal shifts, and overall health. In simple words, muscle shrinks when it is not used enough, not fed enough, or not supported enough. This is why so many older adults enter a quiet downward spiral. The legs feel weaker, so they move less. Because they move less, the muscles get even weaker. Because the muscles get weaker, walking becomes harder, so they move even less. And the cycle continues. This is one of the biggest reasons I tell people not to accept weakness too quickly. Once the body becomes afraid to move, the decline accelerates. Let us now talk about the fourth major cause, nutrient deficiencies. This one surprises people, but it should not. Your muscles and nerves need nutrients to function. If certain nutrients are too low, weakness becomes much more likely. One of the most common is vitamin B12. B12 matters for nerves, energy, red blood cells, and oxygen delivery. If B12 is low, the nerves suffer and the muscles receive less effective oxygen support. Vitamin D is another one. Many people think of vitamin D only in relation to bones, but it also matters for muscle function. Low vitamin D can contribute to weakness, poor balance, and reduced physical performance. Magnesium matters too. Protein matters tremendously. If protein intake is too low, the body struggles to maintain muscle tissue, and this becomes more important with age, not less. This is why weak legs are often the result of systems failing quietly together. It is not just one missing piece. It is several supportive systems becoming less efficient at the same time. Now let us add another major player to the story: blood sugar. Many people do not realize how much blood sugar affects leg function. High blood sugar and repeated sugar spikes can damage small blood vessels and irritate nerves over time. They also increase inflammation. That means poor blood sugar control can weaken circulation, worsen nerve symptoms, and contribute to the exact kind of leg heaviness, weakness, numbness, and burning that so many seniors experience. This is especially important in people who are not officially diagnosed with diabetes but still have insulin resistance or prediabetes. They may say, "My doctor never said I have diabetes." And that may be true, but repeated glucose instability can still affect their nerves and circulation. This is one reason weak legs should never be viewed in isolation. Legs reflect what is happening in the whole body. If circulation is poor, the legs show it. If blood sugar is unstable, the legs show it. If the nerves are under stress, the legs show it. Now I want to talk about dehydration, because this cause is often ignored completely. The muscles depend on fluid balance. Blood depends on fluid balance. Nerves function better in a well-hydrated system. But many seniors are chronically underhydrated. They may not feel thirsty. They may avoid drinking because they do not want to wake up at night. They may rely too heavily on coffee or tea. And over time, that creates a body with lower blood volume, poorer circulation, greater fatigue, and less muscle efficiency. Think of hydration like oil in an engine. The machine may still run without enough oil for a while, but it runs hotter, rougher, and less efficiently. That is what chronic low hydration can do to the body. It does not always create a dramatic emergency. More often, it creates quieter symptoms: fatigue, dizziness, heaviness, cramping, poor circulation, and weakness. All of these causes can blend together. That is why so many people feel confused. They expect one simple answer, but weak legs after 60 are often the result of less movement, less muscle, less blood flow, more nerve stress, more metabolic strain, and lower nutrient support. That is the real cause, or more precisely, that is the real pattern. Now let us talk about the warning signs seniors should not ignore, because the body almost always gives clues before weakness becomes severe. One sign is heavy legs in the morning or after sitting. If your legs feel slow and hard to trust when you first stand up, that matters. Another sign is cold feet. If the feet often feel unusually cold, even when the rest of the body is comfortable, that may suggest reduced circulation or nerve dysfunction. Another warning sign is numb toes or tingling in the feet. These symptoms often point to nerve stress or reduced blood flow. Leg cramps are another clue, especially if they happen often at night or with mild exertion. They may reflect circulation issues, dehydration, or electrolyte imbalance. Weakness when climbing stairs is another big one. Many people notice stairs before they notice walking on flat ground. That is because stairs demand more from the muscles and nervous system. And then there is balance. If you feel less steady in the shower, when turning around, when stepping off a curb, or when walking in dim lighting, do not dismiss that. Balance often declines when the legs are no longer receiving clean sensory and motor support. Now that we understand the causes, let us talk about what actually helps. This is the part that matters most, because I do not want this video to leave you with fear. I want it to leave you with a strategy. The first thing that helps weak legs after 60 is gentle, consistent movement. Not extreme exercise, not punishment, not something that frightens you. Movement is medicine for weak legs because it addresses multiple problems at once. It improves blood flow, it activates muscles, it stimulates the nerves. It helps the body use blood sugar more effectively. It supports balance, and it tells the body that the legs are still needed. One of the best habits is simply walking a little more often, not one exhausting walk once a week. Frequent, manageable walking, short walks after meals, walking through the hallway, light movement around the home, standing up regularly if you sit for long periods. This is especially important because the calf muscles act like a second pump for circulation. When they contract, they help move blood back upward. If you are inactive for long stretches, the system slows down. But every step helps. The second thing that helps is strength support. Many seniors fear that weakness means they should rest more. Sometimes some rest is needed, yes, but in the long run, complete avoidance usually makes weakness worse. The muscles need a reason to stay. If they are not challenged at all, the body slowly lets them shrink. This does not mean you need a gym. Chair rises, simple step-ups, leg lifts, and gentle resistance exercises can help tremendously. Even standing up from a chair several times in a row can be a meaningful strength exercise for an older adult. The third thing that helps is better nutrition. Weak legs are often underfed legs. Older adults frequently do not eat enough protein. Appetite changes. Meals get smaller. Convenience foods replace balanced meals, but muscle tissue needs building material. Without enough protein, the body has a harder time maintaining strength. Nerve tissue and circulation also need support. This is where B12, vitamin D, magnesium, and overall nutrient quality matter. I am not saying every senior needs a pile of supplements. I am saying you should not ignore the possibility of deficiency. If weakness, fatigue, balance changes, numbness, or tingling are present. The fourth thing that helps is hydration. This sounds simple, but it matters more than many people realize. Better hydration supports circulation. It supports blood pressure stability. It supports muscle function. It may reduce cramping, and it helps the whole delivery system work better. The fifth thing that helps is blood sugar stability. I keep returning to this because it is so central. If blood sugar is unstable, nerves and blood vessels suffer. This can directly affect how the legs feel and perform. Better meal balance, fewer sugar spikes, more movement after meals, and better evening habits can all help. The sixth thing that helps is paying attention early. This may be the most important lesson of all. Weak legs do not usually become severe overnight. The body whispers before it shouts. A little heaviness, a little numbness, a little less confidence on stairs, a little more grabbing onto furniture, a little more fatigue after simple walking. These are not random annoyances. They are messages. And the earlier you respond, the more you can often improve. Now, I want to talk about something emotional, because weak legs affect more than the body. They affect confidence. Many older adults begin doing something very understandable when their legs feel weak. They start shrinking their life. They walk less. They say no to invitations. They avoid stairs. They stop going out after dark. They stop carrying things. They become more cautious in ways that seem small at first, but over time, those small restrictions become a smaller life. That is why I care so much about this topic. Weak legs are not just a physical issue. They are a threat to independence. And the most tragic part is that many people surrender too early because they think nothing can be done. But often, something can be done. Not always perfectly, not always quickly, not always dramatically, but often meaningfully. That is why I want you to stop thinking of weak legs as one fixed label. Instead, ask, is circulation part of this? Are nerves involved? Have I become too inactive? Am I eating enough protein? Could I be low in B12 or vitamin D? Is blood sugar playing a role? Am I dehydrated? Have I been ignoring small warning signs? Those questions are much more useful than simply saying, I am old. Age changes the body, yes. But age is not the only story. Let us build a practical daily routine that supports stronger legs. Start the day with hydration. Move early if you can, even gently. Do not sit for hours without standing up. Eat enough protein throughout the day. Walk after meals when possible. Notice numbness, tingling, cold feet, or balance changes, and take them seriously. If symptoms persist, ask your doctor about circulation, blood sugar, and key nutrient levels. That is the kind of strategy that protects the legs. Now, let me be clear about something else. If you have sudden severe weakness, one-sided weakness, loss of balance that appears suddenly, or pain with leg color changes, that is not something to wait and see. Sudden changes need medical attention. This video is about gradual weakness and common causes, not emergency care. But for the slow, creeping weakness that so many seniors experience, this message matters deeply. Do not assume it is just age. The legs are often telling the truth about the whole body. Before we finish, I want to ask you something. Do your legs feel weak, heavy, shaky, or less dependable than they used to? Do stairs feel harder? Do you notice cold feet, cramps, numbness, or balance changes? Tell me your age and where you're watching from today, and tell me which of these signs you have noticed most. I read your comments, and they help me understand exactly what this community is going through. And I want to leave you with this. Your legs have carried you through a lifetime. They carried you to work. They carried you through difficult seasons. They carried you through ordinary days and unforgettable ones. They deserve attention now, not neglect. Weak legs after 60 are common, but they are not always inevitable, and they are very often not the result of age alone. They are a signal that the muscles, nerves, circulation, metabolism, or nutrition need more support. The good news is that support can begin with small, meaningful changes. Walk a little, hydrate better, feed your muscles, protect your nerves, respect the warning signs, and do not give up your confidence too soon. I'm Dr. Adrian Keller, and it has been a pleasure spending this time with you today. Keep taking care of your body with wisdom and patience. Protect your mobility. Protect your confidence, and remember that even small steps are still steps forward. I look forward to our next conversation. Until then, take good care of yourself and stay steady on your feet.